Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anime Static. This is Shocking Jay's anime podcast. I'm your host, Bren, and with me, as always, is Ryan.
Hey.
And this week we have episode 4 of our Megalobox series. So this is episode 4.
Let's dance with death.
Let's dance with death. Okay, everything has to do with death, dying, and dead. So
no one dies though. It's just to the knockout. No fights to the death.
yeah, it's not actually Hunger Games. It's boxing. It's Megalobox. And so the episode starts with the introduction of the fighters for Joe's first fight. And we see the introduction of Gearless Joe into the ring. The song
that's what this episode introduces. That introduces No
Gear. Yeah, No Gear Joe.
We're like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna get new gear. Yeah, last episode when I was editing, I was like, oh yeah, or I said, I'm like, maybe they'll fight someone who like doesn't use gear.
Yeah, yeah.
Who is kind of like, or I was like, maybe they'll fight someone like maybe close to the top, like at the end of this episode, like maybe close to the top, and he won't use gear. But no, Joe's not going to use gear, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels obvious after watching. It's like, right, he's going to be the one who doesn't use gear.
Yeah.
He's the outlier because he's the protagonist of the show.
Yeah, he's the one who doesn't need gear to win a fight.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of cool, but like after the first fight, you're kind of like, maybe I should put gear on, especially if I'm fighting somebody in like, the top 50. But
right, like just like 100-mile-an-hour punch, just bah.
Yeah, against just straight. I'm not talking. Just talking
for, like,
equaling the playing field.
Just for like deep. Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch him go up against like Yuri again and have to win, but no gear.
Yeah, I know. Like, that seems just like a bit of a too much of a stretch for me.
Because like, I mean, I guess his old gear didn't cover his arm fully, but like
you could believe it that he could win because he would compensate, but he would not completely override. Because it used to just be like, oh, he can make up the difference in the gear with like his technique, which is cool. That's kind of like the underdog
story. That's what he's trying to do, yeah. As
opposed to this guy who is clearly outmatched in terms of gear is just like gonna somehow keep winning. Just seems like a stretch to me, especially like when you start getting in the higher and higher ranks.
We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll lose.
It's personal opinion, but yeah, the episode starts with the introductions. The soundtrack for this show, by the way, is actually really good. I like the intro music that they did for him when they introduced him in the West Corner.
It takes a while for me to get the music in my head of stuff.
Yeah. I liked it so far. I thought it was great. It added a lot to the scene. It really felt like it was, just like pumped you up, and that was cool. I liked it. And then most of the episode is that one fight with Man-Eater with, what's his name? Shark Namajima or whatever. But
Man-Eater? His name is Man-Eater.
Yeah.
His like fighter name.
His fighter name is Man-Eater. But yeah, most of the episode is just him and Joe fighting.
Yeah, I liked how they kind of introduced it though, just like that first scene of just like, because it started with them like walking in, and then it cut back to like
the night before.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna use gear, and it's like, I see.
I
see where this is going, this makes sense.
How I was talking about, I don't like how they like show the end and then cut back to the beginning and like.
Oh yeah, we were talking about something else. Yeah, not on the podcast.
Oh, okay, there was none. Okay,
you mentioned this,
but like in Anchorman 2, I think it is, where it's like they show the end with him and the shark.
Yeah, where they flash back,
and then they flash back. How did this happen?
Ago.
Yeah. And I hate that. Honestly, it drives me nuts. I do not like it. It just takes away from.
Well, this is a little different because
this is what I'm saying. I'm okay with this. Yeah. I'm okay with this because all they did was introduce, and then they went, oh hey, let's go back to the night before when they make the decision.
And it was just like 3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes.
It was a flashback.
I can do that. And it's not the climax. If they showed him knocking out Man-Eater and then flashing back to the night before, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
I don't like that. But they did the intro, and then they filled in, they did the intro, good hype. They did the opening, and then they flashed back to the night before, a couple minute explanation, cool. I dig that. That's cool. You know, that's good. That adds.
Yeah.
And it's also dynamic, which I like too. But the fight with Maneater is pretty dramatic. I mean, he just gets his butt beat for like the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, this episode was funny. Like you were talking about, it was like, that's not believable about him going the whole time with no gear. It's like this episode was about. I mean, I was gonna mention this later, but I mean, I might as well bring it up now. Is that I think during the episode they never really mention, because he's like this whole episode is about him being like afraid. You know,
right.
He's like he can't beat him. He's like kind of like. He's like,
it's his nerves.
Yeah, he's just too like anxious or something. You know, he freezes.
Right. It's the pressure of like being in the moment.
But like they don't
actually
really like they don't exactly like say outright why he's afraid. But like I assumed the entire time it's because he didn't have gear.
Ooh, that's a good
assumed
point.
that like that was the reason of like. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of things, but it's like I'm going in with no gear. All these people are like, who is this guy? There's the crowd. And, so obviously a bunch of stuff could make him, like anxious. But like, I assumed that it was like because he had no gear. So I thought that was interesting of him. Like, yeah, I'm not going to do gear. And then gets in the ring and like,
That was a stupid decision.
Yeah, like what am I doing?
No, you're probably, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I was thinking more of just all of the nerves and like the doubts and stuff of actually being in the moment and having all these expectations
Because it's like
on
the
yourself.
First real fight,
so where everything is on the line,
Yeah. Which I thought was interesting that they didn't really say like
why.
They just kind of like, you can do it.
Yeah. It really made Joe it's like you make him a crowd favorite, you make him very human, you make him very relatable in this episode.
It helped him feel more like a real person.
Yeah, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I can relate to this guy more, and therefore, I like it better. It's not just this far-fetched, story.
He's a really good boxer, and that was the thing is I was thinking, I'm like, is he actually getting beaten? But I'm like, I think like in myself, in my own head, I was like, I think he can beat this guy even without gear, not a problem. And it's like he did, but it's just his nerves were getting like, right. I can't do this. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm not able to.
But I mean,
but in my head, I was like, I know he can. I've seen him.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
And that's what you see in competition
have
too.
Have that realization.
Like not the best team doesn't always win. It's the team that can execute, and that means like getting over nerves, getting over. Pressure and expectations and just like doing your thing,
Yeah.
And that's what competition is so hard and sports can be so unpredictable. But, it was really cool to see him basically just get his butt kicked for a while. And then, then also you got to see, I think the other, like Nanbu and Sachio, like really, you start to see their value in this episode, and they are starting to add to like the trio of.
Yeah, it's interesting to see their dynamic because like it's been a while since we like watched the episode, but it was like Nanbu was like, I forget, was he like talking him down or was he like, what are you doing, like yelling at him? And then the kid was like, stop yelling, like everyone relax basically. Like, so it's interesting to see how they're all gonna work together.
Well, you start to see that Nanbu is giving advice, you know what I mean, or however you want to put it.
I think because part of it's just like
Nanbu is afraid too.
Exactly, I was just
and that's the thing.
I was like, he's afraid,
and you could see like he's playing it so defensively that he's just like saying things that won't allow Joe to lose. But it's like one of those things, especially in fighting, if you go into a game or a match not to lose, you're not playing to win. And that was kind of like Joe's thing Joe, and the advice that Nanbu was given was just like, well, actually, no, when Joe's like, hey, I just don't get hit, and I can't lose. And he says that, and he's just so afraid of losing that the concept of like playing to win just never is on the table until Sachio's like, hey, pull your heads out of your butt and like, let's focus. We're here for a reason. We've prepped for this. Like, just do your thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when
he's kind of like how what I was saying. I'm like, I know you can do it. Just win. Just win. Just come on.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But it's like, relax.
Yeah. Play. Play.
Everyone take a breath.
Yeah.
Just like
do you. Yeah, it was cool. So you got to see Sachio add value, which is cool.
Interesting way to approach like the first actual fight, because like he didn't like have gear, started the tournament or like started the matches and then like lost it. He's going into his first official matches without gear.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true. And it's kind of cool because it starts from like the very beginning of. Yeah, from the very beginning, he's Gearless Joe. So
yeah, Gearless Joe.
I mean, they really went to
as
make
soon as
an
I heard that,
impact.
I'm like, of course, Gearless Joe. How did I not see this coming? It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it really does. But
you just got to do, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100
Oh,
miles
gosh,
every single
yeah.
day. Be One Punch Man.
yeah, you like
Saitama.
that? Like that picture I sent you?
Oh
yeah, that was funny. Okay.
You sent me like a car sticker. That was the Saitama, just like with the
This is a speech bubble.
the goofy
Okay.
the goofy eyes just wide. Just okay.
Yeah, his blank stare.
Okay.
Yeah, I was parked behind a car the other day, and it just had a sticker on the back that was Saitama from One Punch Man.
Yeah, you just gotta no gear. That's fine. Just
Okay, yeah.
just train like Saitama, and then he'll be good.
Yeah, except it'll.
Boom, dead.
Yeah.
Down.
I think it might take a couple more punches in this one, but
Yeah, because when he get back to the episode, when he like finally like got back, like when he was finally, it was like round 3, right?
yeah,
Round 3 when he finally
starts to lock in.
Yeah, when he finally is like ready, he just like takes him down instantly,
Yeah,
or like
he
very
just
quickly.
starts wailing on him. Yeah, and you can clearly see the
and then
the
and he
difference.
just and then he just wins.
Yeah, I love how he knocks out his mouthpiece too. That's classic.
And then, which I forgot until we like just went back and like looked at the episode to refresh our memories. Then it's like, then it does do the thing where it's like win. We go through a bunch of matches really quickly.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just fun to see like time pass in like a good, and it's like it's fun. You're watching him win, like that's cool.
Yeah, it's like,
and then all of a sudden
the progression of him, like, all right, now it's been a couple days, he's getting more comfortable, now he's good.
Yeah, he's hitting his rhythm. He knows how to do this. Like Gearless Joe is
Yeah.
rolling, and then every time it stops, something bad's gonna happen. And it's so cliche. I wish sometimes, like, when it stopped, something good would happen. But alas, I mean, that's...
Well, we're going to see, they're not going to show us the fights where it's just, like, the same thing again. Like, oh, this guy, he's not that good. Just boom, take him down, So we're going to see, well, they teased the next episode, like, who he's going to fight next is, like, some super high-level guy. So we might just be only fighting, like, the best now. But I think so. It's going to stop and show us when there's something to show, when he has like another challenge, when he has something to overcome,
That's true, but
I
would also be down to watch him just like pile drive somebody, just like wail on.
Just like 3 or 4 episodes of just him, just like boom, just taking him down.
Yeah,
basically
dude.
like One Punch Man, where they spend the whole episode and he doesn't throw a punch.
Yeah,
and then just the other guy at the very end, just one punch down.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could like put the crowd into it, and they like. Get all hyped up.
It's like every episode from now on, they just build it up like it's this challenge, and then just boom, down he wins.
Hey, that'll be in season 2 of One Punch Man. Isn't that coming out this year?
Yeah.
So we can also do
this year
anime static series on that one. So that'll be cool.
yeah, we can. Whenever the dub comes out for that.
Yeah. So yeah, most of the episode is the man-eater fight, and then we get the highlight reel of him winning these other matches. It's probably like 4 or 5 other ones.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they say it, like how many points he has. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get like the introduction of like, oh, Nambu meets with.
He meets with like an old friend, and we saw that in the last episode of
the
like
guy
he knows
going to
people
fight.
in the fighting scene. Like he's an established name. He's just like been out of it for a while.
Yeah, he talks to his friend who's like, get us a fight in like the top 30.
Get us a good fight. Yeah, a guy who's actually.
And he's
ranked.
like, oh, I got you even better, number 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy who's number 15 or that he's gonna fight is the guy that is like a previous guy that Nambu trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he's got like. Didn't he have a scar or something?
Do we see what he looked like?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, at the very end, I don't remember.
The very, very end, yeah. But you can tell, like, this guy has beef with Nanbu.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, he's got
that.
it. He called him, like, trainer or whatever. You remember he called him, like, coach or something?
I don't remember him being, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
he very much had that look of, like, hey, I remember what you did to me, and Nanbu was like freaking out, like, oh crap, you know. You could see on Nanbu's look as well, like,
Oh, okay.
this has got some history to it, like probably some not so great history as well, but makes it more dramatic. So
Yeah, that should be an interesting episode.
it should be. I'm actually really excited for this next one. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, because especially it's a top fight. So talk about a challenge. I think it's going to be very much a big one. But before we jump into that last bit of kind of, you know, talking about that, I did like the little, like, couple minute bits. You know how we talked about they flash to the night before, and then after they win the first fight, they flash to them in the truck, and they're kind of just talking and you know, like shooting the breeze and being I like those little scenes in between everything, because it breaks up the fighting well by allowing the characters just kind of interact with each other, and that just to me it's more endearing. Like I like the characters more because I see them outside of the main task, you know, which I like. Makes them more relatable, but also just shows a different side of them, which I think just adds to the character in general and makes you, I mean, more attached to them, you know, like you end up, you know, liking them, and you know, I don't know the right way to call it, but like you become more attached to the character, you know? It's
yeah,
like,
they feel more
I like
real.
this guy being here. They feel more real.
They feel more like distinct and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode like did a good job of like, you know, because like this show, you know, has some like cliche, you know, parts to it. Like everything does, you know, everything has like something that's been done before, obviously. But
Right,
like
it's a
this
sports
episode
anime.
helped to like really set it apart from everything else, and like it feels less cliche, the show
Right.
now after
It does feel less
after
cliche.
this episode.
Because they do these other things, like have these small bits and small scenes to just build the characters, you know, just to have the characters interact with each other, and that to me just is, you know, breaks up things well, but also does it in a way that adds to characters, to the world, to, you know, the pace of the show, a lot of stuff, and it's doing those things very well in my eyes. So, you know, I'm looking forward to these other episodes. Everything is looked good, and, you know, from my end. But we get more fights. We get this number he's like a top 20 fighter. So it's gonna be really interesting. Do you have any predictions for the next fight?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, do you think we're gonna see them fight next episode, or are they gonna like set him up more?
I think they're gonna set him up, and then
It's gonna be like a two-parter.
it's probably gonna be a two-parter. Yeah, you're right. It'll
No,
probably the first half will probably be like Nanbu freaking out, and then
The second half we start the fight,
second half we start the fight,
and then something happens,
and
and
then
it's like leaves on a cliffhanger.
Yep, pretty. Yes, that's
We haven't seen the show, but like, yeah, I can see it in my mind.
that's totally my
But
prediction.
I was totally wrong. I was like, it's gonna be a 5-minute fight, so totally wrong about like what we said about this episode.
Yeah,
So
it was actually pretty long. It was a pretty long fight.
yeah, I was like, oh, it was the whole episode. But then going through it, I was like, oh, okay, it's actually
It's about half. at
Yeah, a little
least.
more than half.
A little more than half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's what I think. They're gonna start the fight at the very end of the episode.
yeah. I feel like there'll be some stuff.
I think it's
before
gonna be a
the
lot
fight.
more build up, and you're gonna start
Yeah.
to see Nambu's past catching up with him more.
Do you
and-
think? This guy that Joe's gonna fight? Do you think he's gonna like even if it like win or lose no matter what? Do you think he's gonna like be reoccurring? Like, do you think he'll come back, or do you think it'll be it'll just be like these 2 episodes and then we're pretty much done with the character?
Oh yeah.
Or do you
'cause
think he'll be
he's
like
got Nambu ties? Yeah.
he'll like come back or be more relevant? You know, like be more of a reoccurring character.
Yeah.
Like in the finale, he'll like like
Yeah, he'll come
later
back
on.
in-
He'll
in
like come
different
back and
stages,
we'll see
yeah.
him. You know,
like a.
how much?
Like one of Ash's rivals or something. Or something.
Yeah,
they
just,
keep
like,
coming back.
How relevant will he be? Basically,
That's
I
a
think
good
he'll just
question.
be like a hurdle, or he'll,
I
like,
think he's gonna be more relevant. I think he's gonna come back and have, the right word, like cameos, or like he's gonna have bits where he's gonna be inserted.
because even if, like, especially if he wins, I don't think they're gonna fight again. You know.
Yeah, there's no
But, like,
reason to.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I'm wondering how much of this show like isn't going to be about the tournament. Like, will there be like other plots coming in and like will. I mean, it's probably mostly going to be about the tournament, but like, are there going to be any like side plots of like, oh, now we got to go over and deal with this thing or something?
Oh yeah, just kind of like sidetrack for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, we might just have like a flashback episode next time. That could be the whole episode.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, it's like him training. I don't know. I feel like they're going to keep it like...
Actually, I'd be kind of okay with that.
I feel like... I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to keep it like secretive. And they're going to just like... We'll slowly learn their story. You know, not just like... Here's what happened. It's just like, we'll slowly learn and they'll be like... And then Joe will be like, wow, I actually agree with you, Nanbu. Bye. Like, you're an awful person. I don't know. Or like, I don't like...
I don't see that happening.
No, I don't think that's happening either. But like... I think we'll slowly learn things about their
okay, instead of just having one big like just dump it on you, do it in bits. Yeah, I think honestly that'd be better. It'd be a little less cliche to learn more.
And I mean, if it was a flashback episode, I'd be down for that too.
Yeah, me too. As long as there's like fighting and you know you get to see more of like different characters, I'm always down for that. But it would be nice to see him not be super relevant, as in like. He's like a little bit. He's not a recurring character. They do this fight, and you learn a little bit about Nanbu, and then you move on. I'd also be kind of down because that'd be a little less cliche, you know, because it always feels like when people from the past come back, it's like this big deal, you know, and it's like, yeah, that definitely can be the case, but also maybe it's different. So we'll see. I'm actually excited to see. I'm down for both, but. Would be kind of cool to see a little bit of a mix-up in terms of non-cliche. So, yeah, we see him beat Maneater. We see him win the other fights. We see the setup for the next fight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, don't remember his name, but that's fine.
I don't remember either.
I don't even know if they said his name.
I think they did. They said his fight name at least.
Okay.
And that's when Nanbu's like, maybe I think, I can't remember, but. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm excited about it. So, yeah, that covers pretty much all the stuff I wanted to with that. Just a couple more questions I have, Ryan, if you want to chime in. I have some answers for most of these, but I want to hear what you think about, you know, some of these things. And the fight with Maneater, did you think it was do you think it was too dramatic, or do you think it was just on point, or not dramatic enough? There's also that too.
Yeah, because they spent a lot of time of like, there's a long scene of him like breathing and like on the ground. Yeah, I thought it was fine though. I think they did some like imagery with like the wolf again or like water or something. I don't remember, but there was like they did some other shot.
Oh, like they do in the beginning, yeah, where they have like
maybe I can't. The
wolf.
I know. I was actually expecting him to like have inner thoughts, but I don't think he did. I think there's like no dialogue, so I thought it was fine.
Oh yeah, I don't think there is. You just see his body language, which completely like, reads "I'm afraid."
Yeah, he just like looks really tired and like, what am I doing?
He he looked like he was drugged up. It was bad. But
I thought it was fine though. I think they handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was slightly on the dramatic side.
I didn't know what was like happening at first. I think because I was like, is he okay? Like, what's happening? Yeah. And so I was a little thrown off when then they started like, oh, it's okay, you can do this, and they didn't give a reason why. It was just kind of like, you can do it, and he's like, all right, yeah, I can. So it was like, what was he? What? Okay, he was afraid. That's just what was happening, and now
he was afraid, but it also...
They didn't, like, spell it out to you. But I think that's fine, you know? After watching it, it's like, yeah, it was a good episode.
It was. And that bit, you know, where he just looks like a ghost or whatever, is... I mean, now that you say it, it makes a lot of sense, because I remember when I was racing competitively in track, I remember some races, like right before races, I went to go line up on the starting line, and I felt like I had no strength in my body. Like I felt like I could not run, you know, like my body didn't want to move. It was so, you know, because I was so filled with nerves and afraid that like my body was non-responsive. It was like it was completely coated, like every limb, every muscle, the whole part was just like lead. and I couldn't move. It was just like so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Body was so heavy, but it's just nerves, you know.
Yeah.
And you just got to get out there and you just got to start doing it, putting all the doubts and the fears, just like, you know, screw 'em, man. Like, nah, I'm not gonna take part in that. And so I was like, when I saw Joe like that, I was like, yeah, I can totally relate. And it happens. It's a thing, you know. Most people that, you know, if you've competed in sports, I'm sure you've, or you know, in other stuff, I'm sure, you know, like, you know, performances and things like that, your body gets real heavy sometimes. So that was cool. Yeah, and back to Joe being relatable and more human-like, which is cool. But I did think it was a little bit dramatic in like the length that he was just getting whacked.
Yeah, just like 2 rounds of just like
2 rounds. Yeah, I thought 2 rounds was a little much, but then again, I didn't not like it. You know what I mean? I thought it was still well done, but personal preference. So, and then I think we've already answered this next question I have, but how do you think the first fight with Maneater strengthens Joe's character, you know, or weakens? But I think we've come to the conclusion it's strengthened. We get to see him more.
Yeah, it wasn't really about Maneater. It was about, you know, him just going up against, you know, an actual fighter who's just trying to beat him,
right?
You know, and who like is the guy who like plays dirty, and he like did something where they're like, hey, foul, a red card, that's a warning. Yeah. I don't remember what he did. Like hit him while he's down, or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, it's supposed to be. It's like it's a real threat. You know, it's like it's not like he's. You know, it's not that he can't beat him, but it's like this isn't just some punk. You know, it's it's an actual. It's a fighter who's trying to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's true. And yeah, I think they do a good job with adding to Nambu's character, Joe's character, Sachio's character. You know, we've talked about that too. So that's cool. And I mean, that's pretty much all the questions I have. We talked about most of the other stuff. We talked about predictions for next episode. You know, overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Adds to a lot of stuff and builds up for next episode. So, any final thoughts before we close?
I still really like it.
Me too. Thumbs up. We get to find out if it wins Anime of the Year this weekend.
We're recording this pretty late, but we're still recording this before the Anime Awards.
Before
maybe it'll win the Anime Awards, and then I don't.
And then we'll put that in our.
Watching it.
We'll put it in our title for clickbait.
Yeah, big on the thumbnail. Crunchyroll Anime Award winner. It's a big deal, guys.
Big deal. Maybe one day we'll win Podcast of the Year, but one can dream.
Are there podcast awards? I guess there are.
There's got to be. Yeah, there's definitely.
I don't pay attention to that.
Me neither. But alrighty, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been episode 4 of Megalobox on Anime Static, Shocking Jay's anime podcast. So we will be back next time with episode 5, discussing hopefully what is a fight, but we'll see.
I don't remember the title.
Something to do with death.
Death is definitely in the title, yeah.
Alrighty. And as always, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to check out the other episodes, like, subscribe, and we'll be back next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
See ya.